Hello guys, let's go look new Reddit story.
Title: The Doge IRS Job Slashing, a Wild Ride. Alright, Reddit, grab your popcorn because this is going to be a wild one. We've all heard the news that's shaking the financial world. Doge, yes, DogeCoin. The meme crypto that could just slash the IRS workforce by 20%. That's 18,000 jobs, folks. The story behind it is even crazier than you'd think, and it all started with one tweet. The DOGE Army strikes again. So, let's backtrack a little. We all know that Doge started as a joke. It was nothing more than a meme token with a Shiba Inu dog on its logo. No one really took it seriously back in 2013 when it was first launched by Billy Marcus and Jackson Palmer. But fast forward a few years, and it's everywhere. Elon Musk tweeting about it, Doge memes flooding our social media, and of course, the rise of the Doge community, a crypto army that genuinely believed in its power. As we all know, things took a massive turn in 2021. Elon Musk, the king of memes himself, started tweeting about Doge left and right. The price went through the roof, and suddenly, Doge wasn't just some random cryptocurrency anymore. It was a movement, but it wasn't just the price. Doge represented the underdog, a way for the little guy to take on the establishment, to thumb their noses at the institutions that have been in control for too long. And then came the IRS. The IRS, a behemoth or a bullseye. The IRS, as we all know, isn't exactly everyone's favorite agency. They're the people that come knocking when you owe taxes, and let's be real, nobody enjoys getting that call. The agency, with its sprawling network of employees, has always been a symbol of governmental authority, bureaucracy, and, for many, inefficiency. The IRS is big, and that means it's slow, heavy-handed, and sometimes downright frustrating to deal with. But it's also essential. They manage tax collection, audit processes, and enforcement, which is a necessary evil, right? Well, in 2022, the IRS found itself at the center of a heated debate about government spending, inefficiency, and the overall size of the federal workforce. People started arguing that the agency was bloated, that it was too large, and that it was doing more harm than good in terms of overreach and mismanagement. Enter Doge. The tweet heard round the world. It all started innocently enough. Elon Musk tweeted something along the lines of, "What if we cut the IRS workforce by 20% to show that Dogecoin's principles of decentralization and efficiency can be applied to the government?" It was typical Musk, a half-joking, half-serious comment on the inefficiencies of government and the potential for crypto to disrupt traditional financial systems. But this time, something different happened. The Doge community, never ones to shy away from a challenge, took Musk's tweet and ran with it. A movement was born. The Doge Army, known for their memetic prowess and ability to turn anything into a viral trend, started pushing the idea of slashing the IRS workforce. They weren't just sharing memes or making jokes. They were flooding social media with messages, making videos, and organizing rallies. Doge enthusiasts from around the world rallied behind the idea. They lobbied for legislation that would allow crypto-based systems to take over certain IRS functions, like tax collection and processing. And in true Doge fashion, the whole thing turned into a massive meme, snowballing into something that no one, not even Musk himself, had anticipated. The politics of the situation. Now, here's where things get spicy. The idea of cutting the IRS workforce by 20% didn't just have the Doge Army backing it up. Several influential libertarian think tanks and crypto advocacy groups started to see the potential in this. They argued that the IRS, as it stood, was a bloated institution that had outlived its usefulness. According to them, decentralization, in the form of cryptocurrencies like Doge, could replace many of the IRS's functions, making the tax system more efficient and streamlined. So, in a totally unexpected turn of events, the proposal gained traction. Political figures on both sides of the aisle started weighing in on the idea. Some conservatives saw it as a step toward reducing government size and spending. Some progressives saw it as a way to hold the government accountable, making it more transparent and responsive to the needs of the people. The government, however, was not exactly thrilled about the idea. Imagine the chaos of trying to replace one of the largest and most powerful agencies in the world with a decentralized cryptocurrency network. It was pure pandemonium. But the Doge Army, as always, was undeterred. They pushed on. The 20% slash. Fast forward to 2024. The unthinkable happened. A sweeping legislative reform passed, driven largely by the momentum generated by Doge, that allowed for a drastic restructuring of the IRS. The plan was simple: reduce the IRS workforce by 20%, which meant cutting 18,000 jobs, and shift many of the agency's functions to decentralized blockchain-based systems. In theory, these new systems would use Doge and other cryptos to streamline tax collection, tax audits, and even some auditing processes. Some lawmakers called it revolutionary, while others called it insane. The debate over the legitimacy and practicality of crypto-based government services raged on. But the law passed. Just like that, 18,000 IRS jobs were eliminated, and a new era of crypto-driven government began to take shape. The fallout. Let me tell you, Reddit, it's been one hell of a ride since the job cuts took effect. The fallout has been just as chaotic as you might imagine. On one hand, people are celebrating. The DOGE Army is out there in full force, calling it a victory for decentralization and a shining example of crypto's power to disrupt traditional systems. Doge is being hailed as a hero, and the meme coin that was once just a joke is now seen by some as a symbol of resistance against the deep state and bloated bureaucracy. But on the other hand, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Thousands of people lost their jobs. The IRS is facing an uphill battle to transition to the new system, and there are serious concerns about security, accuracy, and reliability. Can Doge really replace a well-established agency that handles trillions of dollars in tax revenue each year? Can the blockchain really handle all that data without errors or security breaches? And what happens to the people who used to work at the IRS? The ripple effects of such a huge change are being felt across the economy, and many people are understandably worried. Some argue that the move is short-sighted. The IRS, while imperfect, did offer a level of accountability and transparency that crypto-based systems might struggle to replicate. Others are concerned about the impact on people who rely on IRS services, like those in lower income brackets who may have limited access to digital technologies. The Doge effect, a new era? And now we're left with this new reality. The IRS has been slashed, the DOGE Army has claimed victory, and the world is watching as the government tries to adapt to this new, decentralized future. Will the Doge-driven reforms succeed, or will it end in disaster? The jury's still out, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be one hell of a ride. So, Reddit, how do you feel about the Doge IRS job slashing? Are you on the side of decentralization, or do you think this is a bridge too far? Let me know your thoughts, and remember, HODL the Doge. TLDR, Doge slashes the IRS workforce by 20%, cutting 18,000 jobs. The move is part of a push to replace IRS functions with blockchain and crypto. The outcome is uncertain, but the Doge Army is celebrating a major win. Thoughts? Honestly, I'm kind of torn. I love Doge, but replacing an entire government agency with crypto? That feels a bit too much. What happens when things go wrong? Do we just blame it on a crash or a bug? Thinking face. Exactly, blockchain. It's one thing to use crypto for payments or investments, but handling something as important as taxes? We're talking about real people's money here. What happens if there's a bug or hack? We could end up in a financial crisis. You guys don't get it. Doge is about freedom. The IRS is corrupt, inefficient, and slow. This is about breaking the system, not making it better. The government has too much control over us. Time for crypto to take over. Victory hand dog. It's kind of funny how we went from Doge to the moon to Doge takes down the IRS. I'm still skeptical, but if this works, well, it'll change everything. Can we talk about the 18,000 people who lost their jobs? What's going to happen to them? They've been displaced for the sake of a meme coin. Where are they supposed to go?